Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Wednesday, June 12th, a very exciting day today because we're going to get both an inflation report, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, the CPI report, and we're also going to have the conclusion of a two-day Federal Reserve meeting. I really have this hope, which will never come to fruition, that Jerome Powell will stand at the podium at his press conference wearing Bermuda shorts and maybe like one of those Hawaiian shirts. And he'll just put a sign up that says "Gone fishing" and take no questions. Because I feel like this is such baloney. Why we have to go through this whole thing of like, oh, I got to have a press conference. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to do anything. They're not lowering interest rates yet. We're going to hear for the 10,000th time that the Federal Reserve is data dependent. I would love it if they did this. But, you know, I put some questions together because one of my colleagues was going down for the Fed meeting. So, you know, I just put a bunch of questions down. At the end of it, I just said, look, why are we doing this kabuki theater of like stupid pressers? It's so annoying to me. Anyway, you know what's not annoying to me, though? I love talking about how to get younger people excited about working. And in fact, yesterday, I went on CBS Mornings to talk about summer jobs. I was very happy to do this because I have been thinking so much about what it means to have a summer job, the great kind of experience you get, and also, you know, how people have terrible jobs, they have good jobs, but it's just sort of fun to always talk about this. So I went on the air yesterday, and my anchors were Nate Burleson, Gail King, and Tony DeCopel, and we did talk about summer jobs. So I want to come back on the other side, and Mark's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about summer jobs and what they can be useful for in building a career. So here is my segment about summer jobs for the college and high school students out there, more than 2 million of them, who will be entering the labor force in the next few months.
The U.S. added 272,000 jobs in May, which shows hiring is strong right now. That's good news for more than 2 million high school and college students expected to work summer jobs or internships this year. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with some tips to help navigate the summer job market. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So what industries are hiring? That's what people want to know.
Yeah, you know, leisure and hospitality is always big in the summertime, especially if you're in a summer community. But the National Restaurant Association says they're going to hire more than 500,000 summer jobs. That's amazing. We also know that retailers, they like to add folks. And you know what? There are a lot of babysitting jobs. There are municipalities that are hiring for pools and parks. So lots of jobs that are out there still unfilled right now.
So are these summer jobs you're talking about for young people, sounds
yes,
like?
Right, okay. Exactly. So we're talking for teenagers and even college students.
So is it better to take a low-paying or non-paying internship or a regular summer job?
I have been wrestling with this question because I know there are some
Why
industries.
are you wrestling? Because I always think an internship, you can get a lot from internship.
You can,
depending on the intern.
Except for money.
People
want money right now, Gail.
That's
People want money right
that's
now.
why I'm wrestling with it, because I think there are some really good things about getting paid because you are now understanding the value of work. But you're right. There are some industries that are very difficult to break into, and an internship can be an entry card. But gang, listen, we know how much student debt is a burden, and we know how much kids are really trying to help themselves get a foot forward. So I think paid jobs can really help that.
So you're going ixnay on the internship?
No, I'm just saying that if you don't need the money, great. But if you need the money, I'm very happy with a paid job.
So as you know, I learned the hard way with a summer job that you have to pay taxes on your earnings.
What happened?
I was washing police cars in Columbus, Ohio, and I didn't pay a dime of taxes on the checks I was getting. I didn't know I had to report it, but...
How old were you?
I was 20. Gail.
Okay.
All right,
I'm not judging,
Tony,
just asking.
I know, right? You have to pay taxes. It's a great opportunity.
The no judgment zone here.
We're all safe. So listen,
there are some advantages, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think this is one of the best parts about getting a paid job because you can talk to your kids about paying taxes. Yes. Who is this person FICA? Why is less money being deposited in my account? You can also explain to them, hey, if you're a 1099 worker, no one's withholding taxes for you, taxes will be owed. I also think it's a great time to really instill, I'm looking at you because I know this is right up your alley, automatic savings. You can say to your kids, hey, let's put away 10% of every dollar you make this summer. Put it into a savings account. Great. And if they're over the age of 18, I've got a great idea. You say, open a Roth IRA. You're saving for decades in the future. I know it's retirement, but parents, here's how you can get them to do it. You say, we're going to do the parental matching program. For every dollar you put into a Roth IRA, we're going to put 25 cents or something. And you show them, you teach
Better
them.
than 25 cents.
I mean, for every dollar, 25% match is a pretty good match.
Okay.
And you can
like
teach them
that.
about
like that
investing, stocks and bonds. You can say, here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's how inflation works. It really can help you explain core concepts. Get a paid job, lots of lessons.
I just think it's important, whether you're washing cars or whatever you do, I think it's important that kids work during the summer.
I agree.
Okay, Mark. So let's talk about some summer jobs you've had. What has stood out to you as I made you think about this?
I've really only had 2 summer jobs. I think one we talked about recently. I worked at UPS, and another. I was working in the restaurant industry for many, many years.
I didn't know that. You were a waiter?
Busboy.
Why not a waiter? And instead of why a waiter is like a different level of engagement. Why a busboy?
No, I think the waiters seemed to all be a bit older. You know, they were like college age. I was younger. I was 16 years old.
I have this real, as I said during the segment, I have mixed feelings about the whole internship versus a menial job. I know that internships can be very useful in resume building. I just don't think it's as valuable long term as working in a job for pay. I really don't. Sometimes people work and they're outside. Like one of the guys I was working with said, I worked in construction every single summer. Like I was digging ditches, and I knew I never wanted to be outside. Another person I talked to was like, I knew that I was working in an office and I could not be in an office environment, have to be tethered to an office. That's how I knew I wanted to kind of be in sales and on the road. And so you learn about the kinds of things, even the environments that you like. And I think it's really important, whether it's, you're a lifeguard, a camp counselor, a waiter, whatever it is, that you do learn how to show up, juggle all these tasks that you may think are stupid or whatever, but you also have to learn how to deal with tough customers, coworkers who might be a little bit lazier than you are, maybe a demanding boss. I think that until you deal with an unreasonable boss, you're going to have to learn how to do that at some point in your life. Everybody has one of those. And, I think the other part of working in a summer job, I interviewed these 2 women. We got to get that interview set, Mark, because I want to actually have them on the show, who wrote the book Micro Skills. These 2 women who I think are very interesting because they're emergency room doctors, okay? Risa Lewis and Adara Landry. They wrote this book. Basically, no one ever taught them actual workplace skills. And so they wrote a book about the skills they wish that someone had taught them. Such a good book for it would be a great graduation book. I asked them to help me out. I'm writing an article. I'm doing a segment about this. Tell me what is important. And, obviously the very easy stuff is you show up on time, you ditch your phone, you respond to emails. But I think that what was interesting was that Risa was in a summer job, you don't have a lot of time to ramp up. You've got to quickly assess and understand what is expected of you. And she's like, before you go there, especially if it's a company, get into their website, read the job description, just ask directly, what is the expectation, and check back in and ask for feedback, and maybe even identify a skill that you want to strengthen, and maybe it is something that you want to accomplish yourself. I also asked them for cautionary things, and I love this part. I said, what should they avoid? What should young workers avoid? Don't confuse a work event with hanging out with your college friends. Be very careful. I thought that was good advice. I think that that's something that people make a big mistake about.
Don't have too much to drink.
Or anything. I would say 0. How about nothing to drink? How about that? Hey, gang. So this was just a fun, quick episode, but write us and tell us your best or worst summer job. Worst is always much more fun. Tell us your worst summer job and the one thing you learned about yourself or about something about your career that stuck with you. I'd love to start ticking off some of those fun experiences. So go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and send us a note. Worst summer job, but what you learned from it. While you're on the website, don't forget you have got to subscribe to Jill on Money Live. Our next webinar is coming up so shortly. It's coming up within 2 weeks, the end of June. We are excited, and it is going to be great. We're going deep dive on Social Security, and Heather Schreiber is our expert. She's amazing. So you've got to join the Jill on Money Live family to be registered for the next webinar, Tuesday, June 25th. So check it out. It all lives at JillOnMoney.com. Okay, well, this was a lovely episode. If something strange happens at the Federal Reserve meeting, I'll eat my words and have to come back to you tomorrow. Don't forget to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.